Why do diets fail? Did you know that 95% of people who try a diets fail in that attempt? Do you know why that happens? It's because diets are unsustainable and they teach you what to do but not how to do it. And sometimes it removes most groups of food which you like, and this creates more unhealthy changes, and it creates more unhealthy relationships with food. Right. So today in this video, what we're going to discover is how to transform your relationship with food, right, and how to use flexible dieting rather than restrictive dieting, and how to get that freedom in your choices of food, so that you can actually get permanent changes rather than restrictive changes which last only for a long small time. That's what the topic of today's video is. Why do diets fail? Let's get started on the flexible dieting concept after this short introduction. Hi, this is Sachin Hebar, founder of Self Healers Hub and co-author of the best-selling book You Are Unique, speaking to you in this video. And at Self Healers Hub, we help working professionals fix their digestive health issues by mastering their GEM triangle, the gut emotion mindset triangle. And we're able to help our clients fix digestive health issues without any strict diet plans, any supplements, or any medications. Let's get started. Why do diets fail? First point we have to understand is diets rely on willpower. Right. So let's say you start at a 3 month diet program or a 6 month diet program or a 1 month diet program or a crash diet. What happens is this entirely depends on your willpower. And the challenge with willpower is it is an exhaustible resource. It goes away. It is gone after some time. And when that happens, the diet falls back. But what we do with our clients or the when you use flexible dieting, it's not about willpower. It's not at all about willpower. It's about intention. Why do you want to be healthy? That needs to drive you rather than willpower. Because the intention of why you want to be healthy will give you a permanent motivation and fire inside you rather than the willpower. Because when the why gets clearer, the how becomes easier. The willpower is just trying to do with some push motivation. But willpower will go away after some time, and then you end up falling back to your old patterns. Intention, why you want to be healthy, and that needs to be strong. What we have observed in our clients is whoever has this why strong, they end up doing the changes, keeping the changes, and seeing results for a long time. They're able to maintain the healthy changes. Why? Because they rely on why rather than willpower. Okay, so that's what you got to do, not willpower, my friend. You got to rely on the why. That's why diets fail, because they rely on willpower. Second, diets rely on calorie counting and restriction, as I'm putting it in the video here. And what this happens, it leads to guilt, regret, and missing out. Oh, I'm missing out on my favorite food. Oh, I'm missing out on my charts, my pizza, my junk food, my non-veg. It leads to restriction. It leads to like, oh, I need to eat only this much of food. Oh, I need to eat this much of food. That generally it's very individualistic. What works for one does not work for another. So if you try to cut down your calories, it will lead to energy loss. It will lead to fatigue, bad skin, bad hair, right? That will not make you feel good. But what can you do instead is take back control, make choices. Instead of guilt, regret, and missing out, if you eat with freedom so that you know when to say no, rather than allowing emotional eating to take over. Like, let's say you calorie count and you restrict, and once you're done with that period, you tend to eat more to break out of that restriction. Why do you want to restrict yourself? What we advocate is a 90-10 rule, where 90% of the time maybe you can eat your home cooked food, and 10% of the time you can still have your food, outside food, or your so-called unhealthy foods, right? Or which is there in your mind, so that your guilt, regret, missing out is balanced out there. This really helped me maintain my healthy changes, and I don't feel like, oh, I am leaving out my favorite foods. Very powerful. Diets well because you're trying calorie count and restriction. Rather than that, use the 90-10 rule to make sure that you're still keeping space for your favorite food. Now, in diets, we are, as I said, we are looking at calorie counting and restriction. But use this before, during, after the formula to make permanent changes and to change your psychology itself. What we can do here is, when you're eating food, right, make sure that understand how you feel before the food, during taking the food, and after taking the food. For example, let's say you take a pizza. Before, maybe you were feeling, look what you're feeling, understand what you're feeling before eating a pizza. Let's assume, for example, you were feeling sad. During taking the food, you start feeling happy. After you take the pizza, how do you feel? Let's say you took it more, then you feel gassy, bloated. Yes or no? So the happiness is what you want. You don't want the pizza, you want happiness. The emotion you need to find out, so that you get freedom, and you become flexible with your diets. You need to understand what is triggering you to eat this food. When you do calorie counting restriction, what happens is, it fuels the desire to eat even more of your unhealthy foods. So understand this, how do you feel before eating the food, how do you feel during, how do you feel after. When you are able to focus on these three areas, you will see which foods automatically suit you. You'll understand which foods automatically are good for your body, right? And what happens is, there's scientific proof out there. When you try to eliminate unhealthy foods, your body craves for that naturally. That's the technique of your mind to make sure you eat more unhealthy foods if you start removing them, right? So what you want to do is understand this before, during, and after, what I told you in the previous point. That way you will crave healthier foods, because the more you consciously eat the healthier foods, you will have cells made up of healthier foods, and those cells which are made up of healthier foods will attract more healthier foods. If you try to immediately cut down on unhealthy foods, then your mind will it will increase the feelings for those unhealthy foods, which will make you eat those more and more, and then the cells will be found of unhealthy foods, and then it will again attract that foods only. So rather than that, use the before, during, after technique. Consciously make decisions so that you crave healthier foods. That's the power of flexible dieting. And finally, you know what, why it fails is because dieting tries to control you. You go to a restaurant, oh, I'm on a diet. Diet is controlling you. You go to some social gathering, diet is controlling you. You can't go to social gathering. Your social life goes down. I've seen a lot of our clients face that. And when we are able to take out that diet and give them a flexible dieting, then you get back control. You get to choose what you want to use. You understand how do you feel before, during, and after. You don't feel regret and missing out. You don't rely on willpower. You rely on your psychology. You rely on your why, and you will crave healthier foods even when you go to a restaurant, and when you go to your parties, or when you go to your social gatherings, you will crave healthier foods. There are some healthier options there which you can try and eat. So dieting tries to control you, when what to do instead is, you get back control by using flexible dieting. What I shared till now, use that to get back control rather than try allowing the diet to control you. So let me recap what we have shared till now. Why do diets fail is because they rely on willpower, they rely on calorie counting and restriction, they make you crave unhealthy foods. Diet tries to control you, and it never addresses your feelings underneath why you choose that food. It's as simple as that. These are the 5 reasons why diets fail. And if you're able to implement what I've shared till now in this video, you will transform your relationship with foods and be consistent with your lifestyle changes related to food. If you found this video useful, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you need help with your gut health, kindly book a consultation with us. Link is in the description of this video. Until we meet again, be healthy, be happy, and be unique. This is Sachin, founder of Self Healers Hub, signing off. Thank you, take care, and see you in the next video.